And Coca-Cola.
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 Coca-Cola CEO says.
Imagine working for one of the most recognizable brands in the world and being entrusted with company secrets so secure that its recipes are stored in vaults. One thing that is no secret is that large corporations are very protective of their IPs, willing to go to extreme lengths to keep them safe. As far as many companies go to protect their trade secrets, there are some who are willing to go even further to steal them. Everyone knows by now that Coca-Cola has used questionable ingredients that are kept more like an open secret. This particular thief, however, was not hunting for the secrets within the drink itself, but rather the formula for how each can of Coke was manufactured. Attempting to steal from powerful corporations obviously comes with tremendous risk, including being charged with IP theft, trade secret theft, and conspiracy, just to name a few. So why then would someone risk years of prison time for the sake of stealing some ingredients? The short answer is, for the love of money.
I took quarter water, sold it in bottles for $2, and Coca-Cola came and bought it for bins. That's what's up.
According to theworldcounts.com, we use an estimated 180 billion aluminum cans annually. In order to prevent the cans from corroding while storing liquids inside, for decades a chemical liner called bisphenol A or BPA has been used to lace the interior of each can, allowing for a longer shelf life while storing the beverages. This chemical, like many others used in our consumer products, came with some very concerning health risks. As a result, a number of countries began banning the use of BPA despite it still being legal in the US. In December of 2012, Xiaorong Yu, aka Shannon Yu, began working as a chemist at Coca-Cola in Atlanta, Georgia. Her task was to engineer and act as a liaison between the soda giant itself and 6 other chemical companies. The end goal was to find a safer, BPA-free alternative to store the bubbly brown beverage. These 6 other companies created the highly sought-after BPA-free formulas and attempted to sell them to Coca-Cola, with Shannon Yu being one of the few employees with access to the specifics of these ingredients. During her time working for Coke, no, not that kind. During her time working for Coca-Cola, Yu had been plotting to start a new chemical company in China, one that would manufacture its own BPA-free chemical using the formula she had stolen, one that she had hoped could eventually rival Coca-Cola itself. Operating in complete secrecy, Yu was convinced that her tracks were covered, and she even entered into a partnership with a Chinese chemical company called the Weihai Jinhong Group. With this partnership secured, along with having received business grants from the Chinese government, Yu felt untouchable. With such powerful backing, her plans to steal from one of the most powerful corporations were close to completion.
The secret recipe.
Taking credit for the recipe, Yu stated that she had developed the world's most advanced BPA-free coating technology in her application for China's 1,000 Talents program. At first, Shannon knew that she had to be subtle to avoid raising any suspicion. Her inquiries into the specifics of the chemical compound didn't raise any alarms at first. However, things would begin to change for Yu on June 30th of 2017. Coca-Cola cut costs, and in doing so, they cut staff by laying off a massive 200,000 employees. Damn. Among those to receive the disheartening news was Shannon Yu. The 56-year-old had spent 5 years at the company only to be given a layoff notice set to take effect in 60 days. Frustrated, disappointed, and undeterred from her original plans, Yu began frantically transferring highly confidential files from the chemical formulas from her work computer to a personal hard drive. But to add to her frustration, Coca-Cola's network security protocols blocked the transfer. After spending a considerable amount of time trying to bypass the borderline military-grade security, Yu managed to successfully transfer the sensitive information to her Google Drive account, and then to a USB drive, all on the last night as a Coca-Cola employee. She thought she was covering her tracks pretty well when certifying in her severance agreement that she had not kept any confidential information. Coca-Cola needed to take as much precaution as necessary now that one of their principal engineers would be leaving the company and the formula that was developed was valued at around $120 million. During the entirety of her 5 years with the company, no one thought anything of Yu sometimes aggressively pestering the different chemical companies for the exact quantities of each ingredient needed to replicate the chemical can linings. They simply thought she was an eager chemist. She had gained so much trust during her employment that a special communication channel was even created specifically to provide Yu with all the answers to her chemical inquiries. Shortly after leaving the soft drink mega corporation, that following year, by June of 2018, Yu would then begin working for the Eastman Chemical Company in Tennessee. Still plotting her chemical empire, Yu had decided that it would be wise to copy secure data from her new employer to the same Google Drive account that had housed the Coca-Cola files. Unlike Coca-Cola, however, Eastman watched Yu a bit more closely and fired her the very next day. Eastman knew that Yu had stolen files. She then returned her company laptop and cell phone, where Eastman discovered photos on its lab equipment, which was also prohibited. Accompanying Yu to her home, Eastman's staff retrieved the USB drive and finally reported her to the FBI. With her timeline to take action for her new Chinese chemical company cut short, Xiaorong flew to China twice. During both of her trips, Yu escorted Weihai Jinhan Group representatives and Weihai city officials to Italy, where meetings were conducted with executives from Metlac, an Italian chemical company. Upon returning to the United States in September 2018, she was stopped for questioning at the airport. Law enforcement agents had a warrant to seize her computer, and on which they found confidential information belonging to Eastman and other chemical companies. Yu was arrested and faced trial. After being found guilty, she was then sentenced to 14 years in prison in order to pay a $200,000 fine and another $11,000 in restitution.